pleasure having you here, first of all. So let's start the conversation by, your key takeaways from the session you just had.
See, it was a very interesting session where we deliberated on how the educational framework is changing and how industry's expectations are changing. The issues which we deliberated included the academic framework and the industrial expectation in detail, and things are evolving very fast. The aspirations of the academia have to match with the aspirations of those who are going to engage the graduates and postgraduates coming out from the higher education system in particular. The days have gone when the educational institutions used to work in isolation. Today industry also need to come forward and get in hand with the educational institutions. The academia is something which industry should rely upon and help in order to roll out the human resource which is well suited for their requirements. The debate between the employability, debate between the industrial requirements and the gaps which the industry keeps on cribbing and complaining of are being taken care by the academics, but there are certain things which we academics cannot do without support of the industry. So the industry of the day has to come forward, support the academia. Rest assured, the human resource which is being rolled out from the higher education system across the country would be capable of taking up the challenges of the day as well as take care of the humanity and civilization in future.
So the debate between academia and India Inc. has been going on for a long time. There's a clear gap in the need for jobs, skilled jobs, and the jobs that are actually available. Why do you think there is a gap?
See, this gap between what is being made available and what is required, that will be always there. See, today, if you look into the kind of employment spectrum which we have, the industries have stopped investing on the training of the graduates and postgraduates which they engage. And that for this, not only the industry is to be blamed, it's also the human resource which is to be blamed. Today, one joins the industry or a company and tries to leave that company in just 3 months or 6 months' time. So the employee loyalty to the organization is missing. As a result of that, the industry has also stopped investing on the human resource training. The academia is doing its job as it was doing earlier with certain modifications and alterations to suit the present day requirement. The curriculum is being updated constantly, but at the same time, the specific job readiness for a particular company is very difficult thing which can be addressed by any academic institution, because the graduates and postgraduates which are coming out, they are not meant for one particular industry. They are going to have the generic competencies which can be used by the individuals to learn the things, unlearn the things which have been taught to them, and relearn the things, and that's how they have to survive and thrive for 3 to 4 decades of their active service period. So the academia has to understand the industry aspirations, and at the same time industry also has to understand the limitations with which the higher education institutions operate. It's not only the skilling part, it's also the basic competence of the individual. See, for that we need to have the rigorous classroom interaction, and another thing which is missing, start from the schooling itself, that is the laboratory component. That is, we call it as a experiential learning. See, the laboratory component in the schools has taken a backseat to a reasonable extent, and the same thing is also happening in the higher education institutions. The students are not engaged and put on the job in laboratories. They don't design experiments, they don't create their experiments, and as a result of that, they are not in a position to appreciate whatever is being taught to them in the classroom through theoretical interactions. So that's again a major gap that is responsible for the gap between the competencies expected by the industry and the human resource which we have. But besides all those things, the important is that the academia is doing its job, trying to make up the gaps, trying to meet up the challenges, and it's also engaging with the industry, and the industry is also coming up with certain course modules, but this kind of change which is happening, that will take its own time, and the gelling of the industry and academia will be happening in due course of time, and industry has to take care of the academia as well with wholeheartedness and with full support and spirit of getting the human resource which is suiting their requirement.
Right. So last question. What role does the government have to play here? For instance, the government promised internships to students across India. Is something like that having an impact, or is it just a dream in the pipeline?
No, see, internship opportunities which have been created by the government, they are going to have their long-lasting role, because the industry which was reluctant to put somebody or takes any individual as an intern, at least that thing will not be happening now, because those who are being taken as an intern, they also contribute to your active manpower. So it's a win-win situation for the individual who is going to take internship, and the industry or company which is offering the internship. The government is supporting it, government has enabled it, and it's a wonderful scheme which has been launched by the country, that is the internship being nurtured and supported by the government. The industry is under obligation to take care of at least those numbers, and those many number of interns which are going to be put on job in the industry. There will be value addition in them, and it's not something which is a dream, it's going to have its own reality. And otherwise also, if you look into the academic framework of the day, internships are being given as reasonably high weightage, and the curriculums have been modified reasonably with the significant input of the internships. And that's also one of the reason that the government thought that if so much of emphasis is on the internship by the academia and the industry is reluctant to take it up, so why not to support it? And I'm pretty confident with that kind of initiative which the government of India has taken in terms of the internships being created in the industry, it's going to have its own impact in due course of time. And another thing which I want to underline, the academia also has to perform its duty of creating the requisite human resource competencies during the course of their theoretical and laboratory interactions right from the schooling stage, so that the higher education system is not only being blamed for the competency gap, it all has to start from the primary and secondary schools. Then only the tertiary education system will be in a position to be a game changer for the individuals.
Thank you so much, sir. It was a pleasure chatting with you.